Hi. Thank you so much. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. And today we want to talk about anger. Unresolved anger. Most importantly, unresolved anger. I mean, you have this anger that's this bottled up inside. This anger that when someone kind of rubs up against you the wrong way and they kind of dab on that thing that you're trying to keep under wraps, and it causes you, to act totally off-centered. And a lot of times, that's what happens. We have all kinds of emotions, negative and positive. But we also know the yin and the yang, right? You can't have love without some hate. You can't have some good without some bad, right? All those things come together. The anger, laughter, good. All this stuff is happening. It's part of the yin. It's part of the balance. Anger is a part of a balance. There are times that you want to be angry, have to be angry, or need to be angry, whatever it may be. But then, to what degree does your anger take us to the place in which we might say, I wish I had more control over our anger? We unresolved anger. I mean, we never had a chance to voice what we're so angry about. I deal with children all the time, work with them, advocate for them. They're one of my hearts, children. And dealing with children, I listen to a lot of them talk about it. You can see they're angry. I met a young girl. She was my heart in the detention center. And this young lady, I think she's about 12 at the time. She was 12 years old, and she had, this anger issue, and which got her in the detention center. But then I got her record, and I talked to her one day. She talked to me reluctantly. She didn't want to talk to me. She didn't like me. She didn't like nobody. She stayed to herself. She was a short girl, too. She's probably about 4'10", but she had fury. It was fury in her. And one day she was talking and found out that, all through her family history, all the women, the females in that family had anger issues, and they were very violent. They beat their men. They were, abusive. They did, really volatile things. And she came from that lineage. She came from that family. Now, a lot of times, what happens to us is because, that lineage we come through, what we saw. And I tell people all the time, what you looking at as you're growing up, it's been recorded to you. This is recording. You are watching a video every day of whoever it is in your sight. Whoever it is, you're watching them. Whoever you're watching, you're recording it in your mind. Whether negative or positive, you're recording it. This young lady saw nothing but all the females in her family. Mother, aunts, grandmother, cousins, the females were just violent and had this deep anger. So is all she knew. So she was the same way. And they would tease her from time to time, and she would explode, right? And I would have to take, the guys would always tell me, let us take her to the room because she's strong. And I probably didn't weigh but $120 at the time, and say, she'll sling you all around the place. I'm like, okay. So anyway, they take her to the room. And one day, I came to work, and she was in the room. And I said, why is, she in the room? And they said, oh, she was mad today, and she was ready to go off on somebody. So I was going to the room. They said, don't go down there. She's mad. Right now, she's tearing up her room, blah, everything. But I went because my heart went out for her. Someone has this kind of anger and never knew how to redirect it, never knew how to control it, never knew, that there was something different for life than what she had, what she'd been told, what she'd been shown all her life. She needed a new, direction. And I was determined I was going to help her. So I went to the room, and she was cussing me out. Don't bring your so-and-so in this room. If you do, I'm going to do this and do that. I mean, she was putting her hurting on me. And I said, I'm coming in. And she said, you better not come in. And she was throwing things, right? She was like flooding her room. And I said, I'm coming in, babe. And I unlocked the door. And she stood at the back of the wall and looked at me like with all this fury, like a bull, like she was going to run me over, right? And she was looking at me like, you come. And she told me, you take one more step towards me, I'm going to duper, duper, duper. I said, I said, baby, what's wrong? I hate this place. I hate people. I hate you. I said, oh, good Lord. I said, I just got here. I said, baby, listen, let me talk to you for a minute. I don't need you talking. She was going off. But I said, let me hug you. Y'all probably say, you crazy? I guess I was. I was young, probably about my 20s, But I said, let me hug you. I had children her age. I said, just let me hug you, baby. And anyway, she told me no. And she said, don't touch me. And that's a sign. They had the speakers on so they could hear things going on there, because they want to know when they had to come down there and rush and pull me out there, because I won't get my tail beat by this girl, because they're going to see her beat staff. And I'm all in her perimeter. I'm all in her, her spot, her place where she done told me I was not supposed to go into. And I'm all up in there, right? And I'm coming in nothing but the spirit of love. I'm not coming, to do any harm to her. I'm not even thinking about hurting her in any sense. All I want to do was show her some love, because I knew she needed it. I had to look past what she was giving me. She was giving me a whole lot of hurt, a whole lot of anger, a whole lot of distrust. I needed her to know there was a world out there different than what she's always getting. So I got closer. I said, I got to hug you. She said, don't touch me. And so I threw my arms open. I said, okay. I said, I won't touch you, but I need you to hug me. She said, I'm not hugging you. I said, well, just come here. And she stood back and she looked at me. She looked at me hard. And I saw something that touched me. A tear dropped. A tear dropped, which meant she was feeling me. And I knew if she was feeling me, she'll break. And I saw that tear. And she was trying to hold it back. And another one dropped. And then she started crying. When she started crying, she came in my arms. And I just held her. And I held her, and I told her how beautiful she was. I told her how much I love her. I told her she was a good person. There's nothing wrong with you. Blasey, blasey. I just ran it all past. I got her in my arms. I got this girl in my arms that nobody could ever touch. She's in my arms, and I'm going to make sure that her life changes, because I'm going to invest in her, right? And I held on to her and let her cry, and I just kept speaking of, affirmations into her life, just good things, just pouring nothing but good things in her life, telling her how wonderful she is, how great she can be, all these things that she's capable of doing. And I just held her, I was young, but I was doing it, Nonetheless, we got done. We cleaned her room up. I said, now look at your room. Let's clean it up. She liked to read. So I said, let's get these books off the floor. So I'm cleaning up her room. We're doing it together. And I said, now, you let me know when you're ready to come out the room. I want you to stay in here until you calm down. And when you're ready, I want you to come out the room. I said, but when you come out the room this time, I don't want you to come out the way you've always came. I said, I'm going to show you how to control your anger. I said, they know that you have anger issues. They know you can get mad. I said, but you'll always spend your time in this room, because they push your button, you come into the room, because you're gonna react to what they're doing. I'm gonna show you how not to react. She said, okay. I couldn't believe it. She was gonna allow me to do that. And she did. I said, and sometimes I sit there and somebody picking at her, I said, leave her alone. She ain't bothering nobody. So leave her alone. Watch TV, you're gonna watch it, but don't bother her. Because I was kind of her little angel protector, right? But then other times I would say to her, she would get upset, and I look at her. I said, you want to go to the room and read a book? She said, can I? I said, sure. And I take her to her room, let her read, So we learned ways. And then when I wasn't there, they would tell me, I don't know what you did to that girl, but now she's knitting, She's crocheting. She's making things. She's taking a tissue box and she's, designing stuff. She had so much creativity in her. She was awesome. She was making stuff I couldn't even think about making. Right? I was going to work and going, what you done made today? She was doing it. She found a way to divert her anger and put it in something and make it beautiful. Because now she thinks different about herself. She thinks that she's worth it. She now sees herself differently. And I fought for her. I fought for her every single day. And they knew if she cut up and they couldn't control her, call me. They would call me from home. Can you come by just for a few minutes? So-and-so is doing this. We need you to come out here. I said, okay. So she's asking for you. Could we put her in the room? I said, okay, I'll be there. And I'll go out there. What's wrong, baby? What's going on? And she'll tell me what happened. And I said, okay, no problem. I said, I'll take care of it. And I go out there and I said, there was so-and-so messing with her. And I go in the room and jump on them. You better leave her alone. One girl was messing with her and I said, leave her alone. She, because the girl had short hair and her eyes was crossed. And the girl was teasing her. And I said, leave her alone. She said, I don't care nothing about her. I said, oh, you want me to release this Kraken? I looked at my girl. I said, wait till I get ready to tie my shoe. I said, you know the deal. I'm going to let you tag that tail. She going to leave you alone. I said, I don't play that now. I said, I told you leave the girl alone. I told the girl, I said, I'm going to tie my shoe. And when I look up, I'm going to break up this fight. I said, so now I'm telling you, say one more word, I'm going to tie my shoe. That was my code to tell her, tag that tail. And she already sat on ready. And I said, I want you to put a spanking on it because I'm getting ready to take my time over there and break it up. And you know how strong you are, so it's going to take me a minute to get you off of her. But she going to leave you alone. And that girl realized what I just said. She calmed right on down. I said, I didn't think you were crazy. I said, because I was going to release this Kraken. I said, because this ain't the one you want. She would take these boys up in here. I'll be looking at people. I said, when somebody is trying to tell you, let them cool off. Let them cool off. And somebody told you, okay, let me cool off. Let them cool off. Give them time. If you need to cool off, you walk away. Take a ride. Go shopping. Whatever you need to do. You make that move to step away from the situation because right there where you are, it is becoming hot. And it's escalating. And you know it. And you know you. You know you better than anyone else could know you. So you already know where you're getting ready to go. Somebody gonna grab a knife, somebody gonna grab the gun, somebody gonna pick up some sticks. Whatever that situation is gonna take you to, defuse it. You know where you're going. It's like, you know that your temperature's starting to rise. Make a move because you can. Never say, I can't. When I say mad, I can't. Yes, you can. You can. I know. You're talking to somebody. I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you. I know. You can. You can. I could be upset and sometimes I would call a certain person. It was my mother. I would call my mama. I'm upset. I would call her. And I would never get a chance to tell her what I am upset about. Because all I need her to do is start talking. And her voice, as I have said several times, her voice had the right frequency, vibration that would calm me down. And I'm telling you, I was a storm. Look, when you see me, you knew a storm was coming. If I say I'm coming to see you, I'm coming. It's going to be a storm. But I had to change that. For me, for my children, for those around me, for my personality, for everything I'm trying to live for. Because anger can get you somewhere you can't get out of. In our family, we seen a lot of stuff that, can heighten us up and make us, say, okay, the only way we're going to deal with this, we need to fight. Because what we saw. But we had to learn how to control it at some point. Some did, some didn't. But it's what we have to learn. And when you are exposed to anger all the time, that chemical is strong. That force is real. And if you're around it all the time, it is absorbing you. It is pulling you in. And if you don't have the strength, you're going to begin to exhibit those same behaviors. You're going to exhibit them. So when you see yourself around those that you know can cause you to, step up, with the anger, cause you to act crazy, silly, and then you need to what? Change your environment. Change it, because you have that power. Anger, again, it is okay when you are able to control it. But when it becomes uncontrollable, you need to do something different. Find something someplace or something you can pour all that energy into, that you can get rid of it. Because it's here. So when it's coming to you, learn to push it out, so you don't get consumed with it, because it's not going to do you any good at all. It's not good for you. It's not good for you mentally. It's not good for you physically. It's definitely not good for you, spiritually, for your spiritual being to be angry, and the possibility of what you can do with some anger that is not controlled and consumed. After a period of time, I'm telling you, you're like unstoppable. I mean, you're like just a walking fireball. Use what you got to change what you don't want. You got to first not want it. That young lady was a prime example to me. She was only 12. And when she left there, I stayed in contact with her. She still used what she learned. She used those things to help her to control her anger, to walk away from people who were trying to get her to go over the top. See, they really didn't know who they were dealing with, like you. Some people don't know who they're dealing with when they're messing with you. They see your smile. They may see you laughing all the time. They think you're happy, and you are. But there's also a part of you that, they don't really want to be introduced to. And you're trying to keep them away from that by what? By staying away from places, people, and things that will cause that part of you that you don't want to be exposed. Because once it's exposed, it's a fire. And as I tell people, it's a uncontrollable fire. Can't be controlled, like them wildfires out the California area. They say when them fires get started, it takes months sometimes to put those fires out. Even when they put them out, they're still smothering. It means they could start all over again. Learn, find it, find that place, find whatever you need to change the anger, that it does not supersede you. You are in control of you. Never let anybody tell you anything different. You are in control of you. Learn how. It's there. It's available. Thank you so much for your time. This is Jenny Oya. Hopefully you could say thumbs up, you like the video. If you have not subscribed, please do. And if not anything else, I want you to continue to let your light so shine. Let your light shine that people can see you and know that you're about great things. You're a good person trying to do great things. And if nothing else, you be blessed. Much love.